Now who got 'em, who rockin' on? Now who want 'em, who flossing on? Now who want 'em, who bought 'em? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Single bottle, never stop it. To the feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and
Oh, hey!
Hey!
Yeah, the microphones work. Man, it's Bengals and Brews once again, Monday, 3:30 p.m. That's how we do. Dale's going to be coming. Not like coming, but he'll be coming. All right. And it's because his garage flooded, and there he is on cue. He's come popping in, but so he's a few minutes late. He has to set everything up, man. Dale's brought us into his house. That's where we are with the relationship with Dale and the Brew Crew. He's now brought us into the house.
You know what has a good relationship, Chop? Midwest Best Barbecue and the Chop Shop.
They sure do. They love each other.
You get these two together, man. It's like pepperonis on a pizza, man. Total awesome combo right there. Or
you're right, Greg. You're right.
It's like Batman and Robin, Jordan and Pippen. Two good combos right here. Both.
Is it like Burrow and Chase?
Burrow and Chase, 100%.
Boom. Hell yeah.
How we doing, Dale?
I did forget to thank everybody for watching the show here that joined us live. And Stranger's in there, Robert's in there, Tyler's in there, Chris in there, Darth, Matt, Tina, KP, Robert, Chris again. Appreciate everybody joining us. Dale, I appreciate you coming. I didn't get the fucking memo on the hat. I didn't know it was
I had my headband on, and I was walking around my house looking for my hat, but it was on top of my headband.
No, I just randomly picked this one
on
out.
my head.
God dang it.
I walked around for like 2 minutes like,
I don't even have that Goodberry hat. I love that one. I love that Goodberry hat, but I don't have that one.
You'll have that, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely a blonde moment.
Well, mine doesn't match. Mine says Cincinnati Bengals. And it reminds us how that's right, when we were in the Super Bowl. See that?
If only we would have won it. I got a shirt. I got that book. But I can't. I've never read that.
Though, right?
That book.
That's Super Bowl 23, right?
Yeah, that's an older one.
Well, I'm an older guy. You never guess what's going to happen to me at the end of this week.
Speaking of this,
you're not going to have a birthday.
I'm not going to have a birthday, and neither's Robert. Neither's Robert in the chat. Robert's not either. He's 2 leap year. Awesome people found each other in this world among everybody who has just regular ass, boring fucking birthdays. Me and Robert might unite and have a beer at the end of the week. Who knows?
Well, Dale, speaking of this week, it's a very big week, right? For the NFL draft.
We're talking about my birthday, Greg. Goddamn it!
He kept trying to interrupt you talking about your birthday. He did not care.
Birthday.
He did not care about your birthday.
Happy birthday week to our buddy Chop.
Yes.
But yeah, NFL Scouting Combine is this week. The first on-field workouts start Thursday, but the real fun and action starts tomorrow when we hear Duke Tobin and Zach Taylor speak and say absolutely nothing.
Yeah, right.
Because we know they ain't saying shit. Yes. Oh, well, we're hoping to get some guys signed. You know, we got to have enough pie, and there got to so many bites of the apples, and, you know, all the other bullshit that they like to say. And, yeah, that'll pretty much be it, you know. And then we'll be like, well, let's try to read between the lines. We know nothing that we didn't already know, which is nothing. It's also sources season, which you guys know is my favorite time of year, where everybody has a source and everybody is saying that this tweet means this and this is this and eyeball emojis. And
I'm going to get a source.
Yeah. Just get sauces.
I like sauce.
Midwest Best Barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Greg's got sauce right there on his desk.
Yeah, I got sauce right here and all that.
What's your sauce saying, Greg?
Oh, what's that? Bengals will play a game this season.
What? Is that what? Oh my God!
You heard it from me first.
Only one? Wow, that would be surprising.
You heard it from me first.
Are you cracky?
I am cracky.
I'm
savage. That Boston sports side. I am the real savage from that Boston sports side. I'm the one starting all the crap right now.
I knew it, man.
But yeah, we're going to talk some cornerbacks before we get to all the combine stuff. We'll talk more combine come Friday, because we'll have some on-field workouts. The D-line, who we'll all be excited to see, will be on the field Thursday. And then I don't know what time the stuff will be starting on Friday with some of the other players, but we'll at least know some D-line testing results from Thursday to talk about on Friday.
Hey, did you guys read this article that talks about the interview with Trey? He kind of really supported the Bengals.
No, he did. No, Ross Tucker
Ross Tucker tried to down the Bengals, and what I read was that Trey stuck up for the Bengals, that he loves playing for the Bengals. He loves the front office. He loves the coaches. And he loves what they did for him. He just wants to make sure that he has ability so that his son doesn't have to play a violent sport.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope they can get a deal done. He's saying all the right things, I haven't got to watch it all yet. I just seen here and there while I was at work today, but I'll probably try to catch it sometime after the show.
They're corners. Who the hell needs a I never
This episode is basically for you, Greg, because this is all you talk about is your love.
Greg
for
didn't even want to be on the show because
I was like, "Tell top of the show. This is a pointless topic."
Right.
This guy's obsessed.
Corner.
He wants all the cornerbacks. So we'll talk about the current players under contract first. Cam Taylor-Britt, look at their PFF grades. So 68.4 run defense, 64.3 coverage. It's not bad, right? That's about what he's been for most of his career. There was a stretch there in the first half of the season where it wasn't going so well. It seemed like after the Chiefs game in week 2, things went downhill there for a while. But then especially after the bye week, kind of that last third of the season, he really came on and was playing pretty well. So we're hoping to get that Cam Taylor-Britt. And, I mean, he's got a big reason to play really well this coming season because he's going to be going into a contract year afterwards. So, I expect CTB to have a damn good season.
Did you see this comment from Chris that I guess Rapine said he would trade Cam Taylor-Britt for a 4th-round pick?
I mean, literally, James Rapine would trade everyone on the roster for other players not on the roster, and he would also love to have 400 wide receivers. Yeah. Every year he wants 400 wide receivers.
Yeah.
I love you, James.
No, we love you, bud.
Also,
I'll take the corners because if we lose a Cam Taylor, he's a starting corner.
Yeah.
Why do we want to have more holes?
Right.
And a 4th-round pick, is that equal value for a starting corner in the NFL?
Mm-hmm. 4th-round pick. I would have. That is just asinine right there. I mean, look, no offense, James, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm sorry, buddy. God.
Man, don't make Greg go Peter Brady hitting puberty on us. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a 4th-round pick. I mean, geez, who's some of our 4th-round picks? Like, you got to go back to be like, well, you might get a Geno Atkins. That was a long time ago, guys. You may also get a Cam Sample. You may get a Deontay Smith. You may get who was the big guy who went to school at LSU, Chop, and then played with Burrow, but he never played here. He lifted Burrow up on his shoulders, though. We had that one moment. I can't think of the big guy's name. It's blanking.
That's back when I didn't watch LSU. I just been watching them for like 3 years.
But another 4th-round pick. You know what I'm saying? So we haven't really exactly been tearing it up with our 4th-round picks. This year it seemed like we got a good one in Eric Hall, and he may never play football again. So I'm not trading Cam for a 4th-round pick, unfortunately. Yeah,
I just want to say hi to Tom all the way from Italy, tuning in to Bengals and Brews.
Thank you, Tom.
But yeah, Tyler Shelvin was the guy. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Oh, yeah, look, they're telling us all here, KP.
Yeah, they're on it, man. They're always on
it.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, right now he's slotted in as our corner 1. I mean, because Dax is coming off an injury. DJ's coming off an injury. So you can't really project those guys to be your corner 1. We'll talk about some guys in free agency. I don't think it's loaded with guys, especially not anybody I'd say, okay, he's a bona fide, certified 100% number 1 for this season.
Right. Yeah.
And then what? You're using pick 17 on a corner? Well, now you're not filling a guard spot or a D tackle spot or a DN spot. So you're filling a hole with a hole that you don't necessarily have for this season. I'm not doing it because you hope, right? You hope maybe Dax is phenomenal like he showed early in the season if he's playing outside corner. DJ Turner showed flashes before he got hurt. And then maybe Cam's your number 2, and that's great, right? If he's playing well, maybe he plays like a number 1, but I'm not just trading him for nothing.
It's CTB's last year under contract, right? This one
should be going into his last year, yeah.
Okay.
Because he's a second-round pick, so there's no.
Man, I'll tell you what, they'd do themselves a favor to just extend him now because he didn't have a great year last year, but he was on the uptick at the end of the year. I thought he had a better second half.
Yeah, Chop, I'd agree with you, but he's got Mulligan as his agent.
Yeah,
that's why they'd be better off to do it now because he didn't have a great year last year. But if he goes out this year and balls out, I mean, that's Jamar Chase 2.0 on the cornerbacks if they do that.
Yeah, I just don't see him high on their priority list with all the other things going on either. So they're probably just going to let it ride and see how it goes. I mean, I guess if he plays like a bona fide number 1, guess what? You got that franchise tag. You just tag his ass if nothing else next year if he plays like a superstar.
There you go.
I mean, that's the worst case scenario, but that means he played like a superstar. Hopefully we win a Super Bowl in the process.
Hell yeah. It's our destiny year, maybe.
Destiny year question mark? That's the new t-shirt. Destiny year question mark.
This is 2 question marks. Question mark.
At least 2 question marks.
Yeah. Hey, good Riddler t-shirt coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Turner, 57.1 run defense and 68.4 coverage. So almost a 70 coverage grade. And he looked really good, I thought, in coverage. He's got that thin frame. He's never going to be like the ideal tackler. He's, that's why putting him in the slot and thinking that he would be a Mike Hilton replacement. I don't necessarily see it. I think he's just better on the outside where he's out there covering more. And I think Dax you move around because he's a better tackler, better safety. He's played slot corner. I think if anything, I would feel, assuming everybody's healthy going into training camp and these guys win the jobs. You
said you'd move Dax to slot?
Yeah, I think I would.
He played good on the outside, though, didn't he?
He did, but I just think his best position was always going to be slot. So it's more an evaluation from his time at Michigan and me thinking what he could be. That would be like his ultimate position. But, I mean, obviously, if he goes out and he wins the outside corner job again and he's playing well, then it's fine.
Let me ask you this question, though. Do you think that Dax Hill would play Al Golden's, like, Viper position? Where he just like spies the quarterback the whole time and just stands there and then reacts to the play?
Maybe. And we'll see how much that Al Golden plans to use that, now.
I'm excited for this defense, not to get off track, but I'm excited to see our new defense.
Well, Dale, so say if you do put Dax, and obviously you're putting DJ Turner outside corner. If DJ Turner doesn't work out, say if they don't sign a corner, who would be your backup option? Would it be Ivy or
Josh Newton?
Yeah, I mean, and Newton, and that's the thing, because if it's like, okay, then do you slide Dax back? But I feel like you want Dax focusing on one or the other, right?
Right.
But he has the versatility, but still, it would be tough. Like DJ Turner's not playing well. You got to move Dax out. Now you got to move another guy into the slot. So maybe they just have. I don't know what their plan is. I'm just speculating. I think Dak's best position would be the slot, but maybe they think it would be outside because of the flashes he showed in limited games. Yeah, and he looked pretty good to them. But if you move DJ Turner inside, I think Josh Newton's your backup, right away. And they also brought Jalen Davis back.
Right.
I expect him to kind of be a practice squad guy / fight for a roster spot. And right now, I'm just expecting Mike Hilton not to be back because he's projected to get $7 or $8 million a year on a 3-year deal. If he gets close to that, I don't think the Bengals are going to do it. I just don't.
No.
Next guy, I have Josh Newton next, but Dax Hill. I mean, this is just the guys on the roster. It's not necessarily in any kind of order. So Josh Newton had a 57.9 run defense and 60.9 coverage. So not awful for a rookie, a guy who had to come in late. He showed some flashes. He got beat some. You're going to get beat. I mean, I think guys improved quite a bit in their second year. I thought DJ Turner looked a lot better than he did when he had to play in his first year, just his ball skills. Because it seemed like he was a tick off his first year here, and they were a lot better last year. So I'm hoping things like that with Josh Newton just improve, and I think we got a good, especially for a 5th rounder, we got a good piece.
Yeah.
Stupid cats, man.
Yeah.
Shit, just doing dumb shit.
They are. They're fucking idiots, man.
Morons. Dax Hill, he has 66, and once again, this was like, 2.5 games? He didn't play very much. He got hurt, I think it was in the 3rd game. 66 run defense, 68 coverage. So, I mean, if you're just looking at the coverage grade, that's right up there with Turner as the top guys, both at 68. I mean, he looked good. So did Turner. So, and CTB was slightly under with 64.3, but a lot of that was that down spurt he had for 6-7 games where he was just playing some terrible football, to be honest. And then DJ Ivey, very, very limited snaps, so it's hard to really judge him on this, but 68.1 run defense, 52.5 coverage. I think he's just, it's a guy you got in the 7th round,
right?
Second pick of the 7th round a couple years ago. Plus, he's working off an ACL injury, so he wasn't even a full year off of that till very, very late in the season. So we'll see what he is. The jury's still out, but he's got long arms, and I think he can cover tight ends pretty well. You hope he develops into that Trey Flowers role a little bit more. I keep saying I think that would be at least a role for him. But maybe cool. That's Dejon Anthony's role or someone like that who's been a corner/safety. So that's the current guys on the roster. And then, we'll talk about Mike Hilton because he is scheduled to be a free agent. You look at his grades compared to the rest of the roster from last year, and it makes you want to bring him back because 91.7 run defense, highest rated corner run defense in the entire NFL. That's pretty damn good on a team that has a lot of issues tackling and playing run defense. He's very damn good at it, and he's very good blitzer off the edge. And then in coverage, we talked about the guys that had 68 in DJ Turner and Dax Hill, even though they were injured, so they didn't play a full year. That might have been a little less. But Mike Hilton for a full season had 68.5 in coverage. So everyone says, well, he can't cut. And I'm not saying he's great. You don't want him on a team's number one. You don't want him on CeeDee Lamb, right? Yeah, when he's on CeeDee Lamb, guess what? Exactly. He got beat. Hell shit. That should never happen. He should never be on CeeDee Lamb.
No.
So, he's not atrocious in coverage. I'm not saying that's his biggest strength. He's a good tackler. He's a good blitzer off the edge. He's a good team leader.
Yes, he is.
All those things make me want him, right?
I want his ass, too.
73 tackles, 1 interception. All sounds good. Those grades, they sound great. The age, he's turning 31 in like a month or so. So he's almost 31 as a corner. Now there's Stephon Gilmore's, there's some guys, but you also, that's a position where you do typically see steep decline at cornerback. So,
man, he's only a year older than my oldest kid. He's young. He's a kid. It's fine.
I'm just telling you, the Bengals are going to probably see that he's 31. And the contract combined with that age is the issue. 3 years, $33 million is the projection per PFF. So that's $11 million per year. So I was saying 7-8. I was wrong. It was 11 on Spotrac. It was $12 million per year. So you giving Hilton 11 or 12 million per season for 3 years?
No.
Yeah, I misspoke earlier. I wasn't looking at my notes. I was thinking.
Wait a minute. We just went up like $5 million.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's 3 years, $33 million.
Well, then I'll take him for that 7 now.
Yeah, I take him for the 7. I changed my mind on this 7.
Yeah, give me the true coat.
But Spotrac's even higher. It's 12 point something.
No
for 3
way.
years. So
Tom says he hopes Hilton restructures a contract. Mike Hilton doesn't have a contract.
Yeah,
he's a free agent. So
and if they place, and they're not going to franchise tag Hilton because he's a corner.
No, because he's a corner.
And it would be top money.
Mike Hilton hopes to God they franchise tag his ass.
Right.
Yeah.
$11 million a year. Oh, you're going to pay me $25 for 1 season?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
So, yeah, he's definitely going to hit the market unless, he re-signs here before he hits the open market. But I think he's definitely hitting the open market. And
oh, yeah. And
I think he's gone at that price.
I hate to see him leave, but some team is going to I think that's probably an overpay for whatever role he's going to do, but some team out there is going to do it.
I mean, Pittsburgh might want him back, right?
I could see him go back to the Steelers, yeah.
No, God. I love that man. Please don't go there because I'll instantly have to not love you.
Yeah.
Hate's a strong word, Mike Hilton, but it comes into play.
But, yeah, so, and I mean, I'll just say now, I mean, there's a couple guys Greg and I talked about the other day that are okay on here, but it's not a great free agent class. No. So we'll look, top of the list on PFF, I think, is DJ Reed. 71.8 run defense, 70.1 coverage. So that's a good player. He's 28 years old. So, he's a few years younger. He's an outside corner, but 64 tackles, 1 sack. So, I mean, Mike actually had better just pure stats than him, even though 2 different positions, but 3 years, $42 million. I don't see the Bengals playing in that ballpark.
No.
For a 28-year-old corner, I mean.
He's going to get overpaid because he's the top corner. Some team's going to overpay him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't see us messing or playing in that. So I don't see a reason to really talk about him too much. But wanted to mention him. Travarius Ward, who was with the Chiefs and then with the 49ers, he actually stepped away from the team because I think he had a newborn or a very young son that passed away and was going through a lot. So his season, if you look at the season when he did play, he had 54 tackles. He's almost 29, 48.4 run defense, 58.2 coverage. You can't really fault the guy for having at least per PFF, a little bit of a down season with all the shit he was going through in his mind completely elsewhere.
That's horrible.
Yeah. But he's still projected per PFF to actually get more than Reed, 3 years, $43.5 million, because he's been such a good corner. When he's with the Chiefs, he was really damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see us playing in that ballpark, just like Reed, going to be too expensive. Rasul Douglas, 61 run defense, 58.9 coverage, almost 30. Projected to get 2 years, almost $27 million. 58 tackles and a forced fumble last year. I mean, is that better than what we have? It doesn't sound like it, and I'd be paying a hell of a lot more for it.
Yeah, I just nah.
Yeah. All right. Did you see? Chris says he's okay with Hilton going to the Steelers because we don't really run the ball a whole lot, and we can pick on him in the pass game.
There you go.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, against us, but he'll be coming off the corner trying to hit Joe.
Yeah.
So that's the only frightening part there. So these first three guys, I mean, that's really nothing of much interest to me. The next one's going to be expensive, but I've always liked this player, and he had really good PFF grades. Carlton Davis III, 77.7 run defense, 72.1 coverage, just turned 28, 56 tackles, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. So filled the stat line quite a bit for an outside corner. Projected to get, once again, though, 3 years, $42 million. Yeah. So all these guys are just kind of out of the price.
Veteran corner
talking like $14 million per year.
When I saw a list, I'm like, oh, this is kind of a weak list right now.
Well, you know what? I never said that we needed someone to come in here and start. Like, if we need a veteran cornerback, I think that they're just coming in here for leadership and for tutelage, to help coach these other kids.
Well, that and, like I say, back to Dax, and I know, Dale, you made the point, move him to slot. You don't know where he's at injury-wise right now also. And DJ Ivey, who is also coming off. So I'm mainly get someone for insurance mainly.
I got you, but you didn't want to. I mean, you didn't want a free agent in here that's going to take the number one corner, right?
No. But I mean, we can't act like it's not a possibility because last year the Fuller guy, they were like, that was the biggest rumors when free agency was starting. It wasn't all these other positions. We thought it was like, boom, they're going after this corner, and that was, we thought Cam Taylor-Britt was like ascending to, he was close to a Pro Bowl season last year. So and having Dax and DJ going into year 2, and DJ Ivey, even though he's coming off an injury, and Mike Hilton back, you had all those, and they still were very interested in Fuller. Last year in free agency was like one of the first rumors that we were going after.
It was close.
So I'm just not ruling it out.
Yeah,
for whatever reason that that they're like, hey, maybe they don't believe in, and maybe James Rapine is saying trade a fourth for him because he knows the Bengals don't believe in him. I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Well, also the Bengals did take a corner in the draft last year, which got some playing time that we talked about, which is Josh Newton. So maybe they had a plan to get a cornerback. That's why they went after Fuller. And when they didn't get him, they took Josh Newton. I don't know. But Kyle Fuller, isn't he better than the guys that we're even talking about right now?
Yeah, and we'll get to him. See, he wasn't on this initial list. I've added him down here because he was getting released. So he wasn't on this initial free agent class. But it is overall, it's not a great free agent class. We go through this because we go through it every year. We don't tell you guys. We just kind of give our thoughts as we go through it. But yeah, I agree, Chris. A Cheeto level signing would be perfect. It's just a matter of who is that. Cheeto was a high draft pick that hadn't really lived up to that. And then when we got him here, he exceeded that really, in my opinion, for 2 or 3 years while he was with the Bengals, outside of having some injuries.
Give me someone like Cheeto. Well, the next one on the list, Dale, I think.
That's what I was going to say. This might be the closest guy to that because he is coming off an injury, but he's still projected to get, just like the rest of these guys, 3 years, $43.5 million.
Yeah, but when I saw that, but
he's 25 years old, so that's if you're talking about trying to find instead of 28,
Right.
You know, instead of these guys that the rest of these guys are all like 28, 29 years old. Asante Samuel Jr. So last year he only had a 59.8 run defense and 58.6 coverage. He only played in 4 games, though, because he had a shoulder injury. So that's the thing. It was 4 games. We don't know how he would have done if he would have played all season. That's small sample size is always tough. 13 tackles. There really ain't nothing there for stats-wise on the season because 4 games probably means he played 3 and then whenever he got hurt. Could have been early in that game. I don't know exactly. But the thing with him is the age of 25 years old. But it's the fact that his coverage grades the previous 2 years was 75 or higher. Would instantly be one of the best cover guys on our team.
Yeah, and Dale, maybe he says, hey, I don't like what I see out there. Maybe he goes on a 1-year prove-it deal because of his injury history. I mean, do you think that's possible?
You never know. I mean, I just think with it being such a weak free agent class, and especially this corner class, that somebody does probably give him a bag, especially because he's so much younger than most of the other guys on this list. But I mean, if you could get him 1 year, rebuild your value and get a mega bag after, we want you here for 1 year. We'll give you $8 million for this 1 year.
Right.
But we don't want to give you 14, for each year for 3 years. Maybe you get 18 after you come here and ball out, win a Super Bowl. I don't know. Tell them what you need to tell them.
Well, Dale, I was messaging you about that when you told me his injury history. That's when I'm like, eek. But I mean, with that right there, I mean, I would take a chance on him on a 1-year contract.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe they really like him and think, that they get him in for a physical and like him and pay him. I don't know. I do think that you got a bag for him, huh, man?
Whoever this fuckstick is says he's got a bag for him.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, some of these prices are crazy because the next guy too, Byron Murphy, who had a good season, 68 run defense, 72.6 coverage, just turned 27, 81 tackles, 6 interceptions. Oh, hell yeah. Now there's a guy, that's a good football player right there. A great corner, Byron Murphy Jr. So I had 81 tackles, 6 interceptions, but you look at the price tag, 3 years, $52 million. You think the Bengals are paying 3 years, $52 million? Because I don't. That's you're talking like $16 million, over $16 million a year. Like 17, 18, yeah.
I mean, no.
I don't see it. No. I don't see it. But, hey, if you want to make a big splash at corner because you don't trust your guys in the room, maybe that's a guy you take right there because I'd love to have somebody that could get me 80 tackles and 6 interceptions. Sure, sign him up.
Matt will probably give him his bag, too.
Yeah,
an old dog that just won't go down that Greg's wanted for years. I think we all have, but I may be kind of out because I'm just – at some point you just got to give up on getting these guys year after year. Stephon Gilmore, 77.6 run defense, 60.4 coverage. So still a good, solid player. The coverage grade is obviously not what it once was.
He's only 2 years older than me.
He's almost 35, 56 tackles and interception, 1 year, $6 million. It wouldn't be a terrible signing for 1 year, $6 million. Even
that's
though
what
he's
I'm talking
like.
All right, Chop. It goes back to you and I were talking. You were talking about Khalil Mack. You're in a win now mode. That's what I was like last year for Stephon Gilmore because I understand you didn't want to risk putting Newton on the practice squad, but like how you were telling me about Khalil Mack, you're in a win now mode. You get these guys to win. That's how I was with Stephon Gilmore last year.
Oh yeah. But I believe that Khalil Mack makes a difference on the team. I believe Stephon Gilmore makes a difference in the locker room mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, and someone on the field too. But yeah, Stephon Gilmore, though, I'd still bring him in here. I mean, I'll still pound my fist on the tip for him. But no, you're right about that too, Chop. But like I say, you get all these win now mode guys in right now.
I'm here for it. But what's the end of our thing every time that we say? I don't see the Bengals doing that. I don't see the Bengals doing that. I'm not sure the Bengals do that. I can't see this team doing that. So
and that's why maybe corners isn't gonna happen. But hey, we're getting so close to free agency starting. We've gone through a lot of the other positions. You can always go back on YouTube and check those out. We've gone through D tackle. We've gone to edge. We've gone to guard.
Yes.
We did linebacker that one day through the PFF linebackers. So we've hit multiple. We're still going to try to hit corners and safeties. I don't necessarily think we need to hit tackles because we have the starters in place. If anything, it's just a veteran guy. And I mean, we can maybe look at that at some point, but
people are talking about Micaiah Becton. He's an offensive guard, but he done priced himself out. And guess what?
Oh yeah,
his fucking agent is Mulligetta, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Micaiah Becton.
Yeah, I don't know.
that Mekhi Becton shit, he done priced himself out.
That's the guys you want, right? 1 year deal.
Yeah,
get in here, prove it, and if you play well, you're going to get a bigger bag elsewhere. I like players like that. They brought him in for visits. Mekhi Becton and Tyler Tart.
Yeah,
didn't sign either of them.
And Tom points out Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard, he had nothing to bargain himself with.
I feel like Xavier Howard is the Antonio Brown of cornerbacks.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, he should have just tried to latch on the team, get some playing time, build some value, go into free agency this year. I don't know what he was thinking.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Jonathan Jones, 55 run defense, 61 coverage, almost 32, 58 tackles, 2 forced fumbles. So you're just talking about another guy. But the
John Jones,
it's 1 year, $3 million. It's the only reason I include him because, hey, cheap veteran. You know that Bengals might like that.
That's my seat neighbor, John Jones.
There you go.
Yeah, that guy's 73 years old. He's on the free agent list, huh?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Nate Hobbs, 62 run defense, 61.5 coverage, only 25 years old, played with the Raiders, 49 tackles, 1 interception. So you're talking about a cheap, and that's not bad both ways. 1 year, $4 million. So being 25 years old, maybe that's a guy you want to get in here and fill out the room and let him compete with your young guys and your guys coming off injury. So Nate Hobbs actually intrigues me. So far of this list, he's one of the more intriguing players because the price is so low and the age is only 25 still. He's not even 26.
Okay.
There you go.
Nate Hobbs might be a guy to keep in mind. I've seen this player. A lot of people have talked about him. And if they like him, I don't know why they don't like Nate Hobbs. Paulson Adebo, coming off a broken femur in Game 7, but he had 52 tackles and 3. He was balling out. He was playing elite football, which is probably why people like him. But the PFF grades weren't great. He was playing good stat football, but it was 47.6 run defense, 63.9 coverage. So nothing elite. He is, like I said, not quite 26, but they still project this man coming off injury to get 3 years, $40 million.
Whoa.
So I see a lot of people tossing his name out like, the Bengals should get Paulson Adebo. I don't see it. Like, why the hell would you want to spend your $40 million on that guy? Give me a D tackle.
Not going to happen.
Give me a couple guards and a D tackle at that price.
Well,
it's a good offseason to be a free agent if you're a cornerback, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
People are going to be reaching.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of mediocre corners with a big contract.
Well, Dale, at this point, I don't expect them to. Well, maybe they could, but not with this list right here. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and I don't have a contract projection for this guy, but I mean, maybe he got his bag last year with Miami. Kendall Fuller, 75.1 run defense, 62.4 coverage. He's 30, so he just turned 30, so he's not super old. There's no contract projection, like I said, because he still has to be released, right? Or was he officially released? One or the other, I don't know. He's expected to get released. 50 tackles last year, didn't have any interceptions, but I mean, that's still good run defender, good in coverage. He's had very good seasons. We were interested last year. Maybe he wants to have, 1 year deal and then hit the free agent market again. So, or maybe he's getting to the point of his career where he starts signing 1 year deals like Stephon Gilmore has for the last 3 or 4. So if you could get this guy for 1 year, $6 million, I would be all over bringing in Kendall Fuller for something like that. I don't know if maybe he gets more, I'm just tossing a number out my ass. But like you see, Gilmore's price is 1 year, $6 million. So it's kind of, maybe he gets 1 year, 7 or 8 because he's 30 instead of 34.
Right. Yeah. How much did you say he got from
I don't remember.
Miami? Not sure.
Hey, Dale, not to interrupt you on something, but a big draft news right here. Abdul Carter, he's not going to work out because he's not fully recovered from his shoulder injury. Is that going to hurt his draft stock?
No, because Genty's not working out. Shador's not working out. Cam Ward might not work out. You're going to see a bunch more of these guys not work out. And it sucks as a fan. I get it, but only so many guys can be guaranteed top 5 or top 10 by now.
Right.
So to me, if you're not top 5 or top 10, you should be out there trying to showcase at the combine that you could be top 5 or top 10 and get teams to draft you there.
Exactly. I don't think Abdul Carter is worried about.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. Yeah, he would be one that I'm like, nah. Tape speaks for itself.
That dude can sit outside in the parking lot at the combine and never even go in. It's not going to affect his draft stock.
Now I know Shador is only 1 of 2 quarterbacks, but to me, I think Shador should have probably worked out.
Yeah, I think that there are question marks on him. Yeah.
He didn't do any Shrine Bowl or anything like that. He just went and hung out. So I would have liked to see him throw against some of these other guys, and it's kind of one that are scared of competition. It's like, well, I'll let my tape speak. It's okay. Your tape's fine. It's good. But I don't know. I'd like to see him go out there and compete. That's just me.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Mike Hughes. So 28 years old, had 66 tackles last year, 68.2 run defense, 71.4 coverage grade. So you're talking about a former high draft pick. Now he is a little older, but 3 years, $14 million. So that's not crazy. So I wanted to mention him. Next guy on the list, we wanted this guy last year, Christian Fulton, former LSU Tiger Chop.
There you
73.1 run defense, 60 coverage grade. So had a solid season, still only 26. Used to going up against Jamar. 51 tackles, 1 interception. And his contract projection is still only 2 years, $7 million. Wow. 2 years.
That sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's it. Sign me up.
Hey,
sign me up.
Let's go.
He wanted the Bengals were in on Christian Fulton last year. They wanted him too.
I think he chose the Chargers, but maybe they.
You know what? I do want a corner now for some reason.
There we go. We got something. Here we go.
I mean, he should. Come on, man. You get back. You saw what Jamar did as a wide receiver. You go up against him every day in practice, like you used to. So I think that's one of the more exciting ones. This guy had a good year. Mike Jackson with the Panthers, 61.3 run defense, 68.1 in coverage. So we talked about our top guys with 68. He's 28 years old, 76 tackles, 2 interceptions. They're projecting 3 years, $23 million. Might be a little rich for the Bengals, especially when you look at a Christian Fulton. You're like we're bargain bin shopping over here, bitches.
That's right, man.
We got these big money guys. We got a bargain bin, but you can bargain bin shop and find some good values and young guys that still have some upside.
This is exactly what happened to us when we had our good free agency. When we got Kappa, Karras, we have had hit on free agency before, and it was from guys that were in the clearance bin. We're rummaging through the clearance bin and picking out the best things we can find.
Well, they're like Chopper. I got too excited about Fulton. What is his Fulton's contract projection again?
It says 2 years, $7.5 million.
There we go, Chop.
You're getting this man. I mean, 2 years, $7 million. You're getting him for $3.5 million a year. Even if it's 1 year, $3.5 million. Give me that. And Divine, I hear you. Yeah, I'd rather have Samuel too because he had 2 years with a coverage grade. But you're talking. Bengals probably aren't going there because 3 years, $44 million.
Right, that's a big difference.
3 years, $44 million, or a guy for
$3.5
million a year.
For that price, just sign that guy up for 3 years.
And also a little connection with Joe and Jamar.
There you go. And like you said, Dale, he practiced against Jamar every day.
Yeah.
So you got to whether we like it or not, and sometimes with the players and positions you're going to be paying, you are going to have to bargain shop a little bit. All teams would have to do that.
Exactly.
But I think corner may be one of those spots because they still got a lot of young talent. They just need it to be healthy and on the field and keep progressing. And I think Al Golden's supposed to be he's done well with Notre Dame secondary. So I'm expecting our guys to take a step with Al Golden here also. So if you're getting a guy, if you're going to get one of these guys, you probably don't want to spend top of the market. And honestly, what they've got Samuel listed for is top of the market along with 10 other guys.
Right.
So it's or you bargain shop and you get a guy like that who had a good season and's got some familiarity with some of your players on your team.
Right.
Yeah.
Get him in here and hope for the best.
There you go, man. Hey, it's not the same off. I'd be okay with it. But dude, Fulton, man, just sign me up for that price.
Jordan Lewis. So 45 run defense. That's not good. But his coverage grade was 79. I believe he played with the Cowboys. Check. And he's almost he's 29 and a half, so he'll be turning 30 at some point during the season. 71 tackles and an interception. 2 years, $4.5 million is his projection. So you're talking not much. I think maybe he gets more than that. But a 79 coverage grade, I don't know. Maybe there's something there with Jordan Lewis I don't know about, but just going through the list, it seems decent. Somebody else might have more on him. Next guy didn't have any contract projection, but Eric Stokes, former high draft pick. I think he's a second round guy with the Packers or something like that. Didn't have a great season, 41 tackles, 50.8 run defense, 62.4 coverage. But he's only turning 26. So this is a guy kind of like Cheeto when you're talking about finding Cheeto signing, even though Cheeto costs a little more. I don't think this guy might cost that much. but you're banking on the fact he's young, maybe coming into the prime of his career, and he has that high draft pedigree. So that's kind of what you're thinking, that has never lived up to it with a guy like that. 2 more on the list, and then we'll be done. Dante Jackson played with the Steelers. 74.5 run defense. The coverage grade, though, was 45.1. So you don't like that. And I know he's on the smaller side. He's 29. He was in that trade with the Panthers when they traded Deontay, was it Johnson?
Deontay Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, for Dante Jackson for Deontay Johnson. Jackson Johnson swap.
DJ, so. DJ.
38 tackles, but he had 5 interceptions. So that's kind of the 5 interceptions is good, right?
Yeah.
But overall, he didn't have too great of a season in coverage. So
I'll be damned.
I don't think the Bengals be knocking down his door personally. But he's been around and played a lot of football. Isaiah Oliver. Well, actually, these are just some other guys. So these are extras.
Yeah. Isaiah
Oliver, Adoree Jackson, Eli Apple, who in limited snaps, Greg, had 78.6 coverage grade last year. Adoree Jackson has 64.5. Isaiah Oliver 61.8.
I thought the Bengals would have been interested in Adoree Jackson last year. So where was Adoree Jackson's score again? I apologize.
64.5 in coverage.
Not terrible.
I just have coverage for these guys. And Shaq Griffin 61.6, Levi Wallace 64.3. So that's just some of the corners on the market. I don't have contract projections for any of those guys though. So that's our corners.
I'll be damned. Well, if I'm picking, I'm going to have to go homer on you.
Well, let's add on even though they're not corners, 2 other free agent guys that got released. Shaq Thompson from the Panthers and Juan Thornhill. According to one betting site, no, not Juan Thornhill. I think of someone else. But a Juan Thornhill or Shaq Thompson, do any of those 2 intrigue you?
Yeah, Thornhill's the safety with the Browns that got released. Used to play for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He's still kind of young, I think. Not super young, but, probably in his 27 or so, if I had to guess. And then Shaq Thompson, though, I think he's old as shit. I feel like he's been in the league 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like he was – I liked him when he was coming out, but, that was 1973. So probably not too interested in him. I don't know how he's done lately, though. Maybe if I looked into how he's performed, I might feel differently, but I just don't see him doing much. And Eli Apple is okay in small doses. And the reason I even had him on that list is because, he was on a practice squad last year. So, Greg, we've kind of talked about maybe it's a veteran that you have on a practice squad that you can call up for a few games, or then the injury happens, he slides in. If Eli Apple is willing to do that here, that would be a guy I'd like to have as the practice squad. And hell, if he earns a job out of camp, he earns a job. But get him in here and don't promise him anything.
But Dale, right now I'm on Team Fulton right now. Team Fulton, that just seems like a perfect match made in heaven right there, right now. So that's
Me too.
And just so you know, Shaq Thompson is going to be 31 April 21st.
Okay, it seems like he's been in the league for a long time. He must have come out young.
Yeah, he's been in the league since 2015. Wow.
Yeah.
It's 10 years, man.
Yeah, so he's a 10-year vet, but he's still 31. But I feel like he's had a shitload
Well, he came
of
in when he was 21 then. That's kind of young.
I think he's had a lot of injuries, but.
Well, here, now I'll look up how many games he's played over the years. Here's what it says with Shaq Thompson. Oh, God. Here we go. Games, 4 games. Okay, Dale, in the last 2 years, he's played in 6 games.
Yeah. Which, they've been paying this man to basically give him nothing because he hasn't been on the field. That's why I just can't remember him doing anything. That's why I said, shit, he's still in the league when you sent that earlier, because I was like, man, I didn't know he's done anything. So he's always hurt. Games, that's why.
4 games this past year, 2024, 2023, 2 games. Now he played like 17 games.
Yeah, I'm out. Because I don't want to give any money to somebody that's injured like that.
No.
I don't know what he'd want. Maybe it's very minimal, and it's not a fair comparison. But we saw with Sheldon Rankins, who had a lengthy injury history.
Dale, I was going to send this to you, but you swore no more ML football stuff. But what's that betting site that starts with a B? I forget.
Betfred?
Not Betfred. I forget what it's called.
There's like BetMGM or something.
BetMGM, yeah.
No, it's not them here.
Bet Us, Bet US. There's a lot
almost all of them start with a B, Greg.
Bovada.
Yeah.
According to Bovada, they're the favorites to sign Nick Bolton if he leaves Kansas City, the linebacker.
Who is?
The Bengals are.
That's dumb as hell. He's going to get a lot of money. I think he's a solid player, but I don't think he's a game changer. Number one. Okay. And the money that would be spent on him, I'd rather spend shit, if we're spending big money on an outside free agent, give me Milton Williams. I won't quit you, Milton.
By the way, Chop, new T-shirt alert, Fulton Natty.
Oh, yeah, Fulton Natty.
Fulton Natty.
I got to go in there and clean up, man. I just took all them loose shirts out.
Oh, I thought you meant like you had to go clean in the next room because you shit all over the floor or something. I didn't know where you were going with that. My mind immediately went to you shit somewhere.
But your mind immediately
you didn't have time.
You
didn't have time to go to the bathroom before the show started. You just shit on the floor.
And if you read off all those corners, like I say, those guys are going to get so overpaid. And so, but like I say, Fulton. All right. So the corners that would interest me, honestly, there's only 2 on the list that I would have an interest, just because value-wise and money. That's Fulton and Apple, and that's pretty much it. Like I say, I still like what you would call it, Samuel Jr., but no way for that price. Absolutely.
Yeah, the price would have to be less for him. Fuller still interests me too, just because I think the Bengals will be interested. Yeah, and I'm assuming that Tom is talking about Osa Odigizua, who we talked about when we did the D-tackle show, who's supposed to get paid like as much as Milton Williams on the contract projections. So I don't really think we're going to go near that high for either of those players. But I also seen the Cowboys are negotiating with him and trying to re-sign him. So he may never even hit the market. And they still have the franchise tag at their disposal too. If a deal's not going to work out, maybe they place it on him because he's a top of the market D tackle, and it's hard to get good D. Everybody wants a really good pass rushing D tackle.
Hell yes. I know I do.
Am I crazy just to give Calais Campbell a call right now and just try to sign him? That way you have somebody.
Well,
I mean, you got his number?
Greg.
What's that?
Call him.
You'd be tampering.
Oh, that's right.
No, he's a free agent.
You don't fucking
He got cut. He was a free agent before the season ended. You're allowed to talk to him, right?
I don't think he ended up getting cut because they were still in the playoff hunt. Remember, they talked about letting him go to sign on with a playoff team, but he never did it.
In 2 weeks, they can start their legal.
Remember, they were still in the hunt during that last week, so he didn't want to leave while they were still in the playoff.
You got me curious. Hold on 1 second here.
I'm telling you.
Chris says he's not. I don't know where this comes from, but he says he's not a big Michael Bolton fan.
Okay, you're right.
You know who is? Santori loves Michael Bolton.
Greg, was I right?
Yeah, no, it just said on here on June 18th, Campbell signed with the Dolphins. I thought they let him go. Okay, so they never did I thought they did let him go.
He's not a free agent.
He will be.
He will be.
When the new league year starts. But if guys got cut or something.
I got
and
you.
They talk if he would have got cut, he would have got signed by another. The Ravens would have signed him. That was what was going to happen. But they didn't cut him because they still had a shot at the playoffs going into last week, just like us, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
But Denver won because the Chiefs laid down, so it didn't make a fucking difference. And the Dolphins got their shit kicked in, actually.
Right.
Man, I just got to smile because I was remembering the Super Bowl again.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah. Fuck you, Chiefs, cocksuckers.
Yeah. I got nothing else. Ran through all those corners. That's pretty much the main thing.
Another one is, did you guys hear about this in the NFL? And how they're considering moving the kickoff rule again? A touchback could be now at the 35-yard line.
I mean, why don't they just leave this shit alone for longer than a season?
How about just go back to the way it fucking was, man? That new kickoff stuff is fucking stupid.
Just get rid of it at this point, honestly. Just get rid of it and start at the 20 fucking 5.
Just start
at the 25.
Right.
That's what I do. Because what was it? 80% of the time, they kick the ball outside. It's past the goalpost. Give me a break.
And while we're at it, get rid of kickers.
The best thing is that you remember at this point last
Grant.
year, the NFL was telling us that this is going to spark more returns. Like this new kickoff rule is going to spark more returns. It's going to make the game more exciting. Horse shit. They don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Most of them take the touchback because they just go out to the goddamn 30.
Yeah.
And when they do run it, they get to like the 31 or the 28, some shit like that.
Yeah. I just say everyone start at the damn 25.
But
you know what? They like their commercial breaks, so it'd still be a commercial break.
No, Dale, they should do like the XFL, put that goddamn ball in the middle and let them fuckers all run after it and fight for it.
Maybe they should have like hockey fights.
Yes.
Two badass ass players.
Hey, someone said in the chat
you can start on the 50 or you can start on the 25 when you get the ball, but you got to send out your battle warriors after each change of possession.
Yep.
So Dale, like someone said in the chat, I know we've talked about this many times. Geno Stoneman. I just keep going back and forth on this. Geno Stone. I mean, I look at the safeties in the draft. I get it. You have to draft someone that's going to start and all that and stuff. I mean, if Starks or that kid from South Carolina is sitting there, I mean, dude, I would have to almost cut Geno Stone because you want this guy to play immediately. I just go back, man. Dude, you have to consider that, man. If Starks is there, I definitely am not benching him. But what do you do, man?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to take Starks or Imam Wari.
But
I mean, if someone falls to 49, and maybe even I put Watts in that conversation, but I might be higher on him than some people. He wasn't in Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 still, so that he did today. The other two guys are, but they're both 20 to 30 range, 35 range.
And speaking of safeties, one safety that's getting a lot of attention behind Watts, he had the second highest coverage grade, and that's that kid out of Texas. But it caught my attention. You have him rated, I think, as a slot corner, though. He may be better suited for the slot. But
he can do either. He can do either.
Okay.
He's played both.
He seems intriguing. Would that be someone that could be there in the third round, or is he more of a second?
Maybe, yeah. Some people think he could go in the second, and he could. I mean, but yeah, he could slide to the third. I don't know if he makes it to our pick in the third. Mm-hmm. He may go a little before that, but I mean, there's a chance. I mean, because safeties, that's what I mean. Like, let's just say Starks falls, Imam Wari falls. Neither of them go. Like, only one of them even go in the first round. Mm-hmm. And then that drops, and then maybe only two go in the second. You know, somebody's going to be there in the third. Yeah. Still got like Lathan Ransom, Sebastian Castro. There's some other guys at safety.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man, the safeties are intrigued. But I tell you what, one player that's really flying up my boards is that linebacker Campbell. I mean, could this be like a Burfict or a Ray Lewis type of leader on your defense that you could have right here? Because, I mean, I'm just reading about him, and I've watched the videos. I would not be opposed to taking Campbell at 17 right now.
Is this the guy from Alabama?
Yeah, the linebacker, yes.
That we talked quite a bit about on Friday because he's supposed to test like an absolute freak show. Plus, I mean, 117 tackles or whatever it was.
Right, you were talking.
Five sacks, and he's supposed to test amazing. He's 6'3", 245, played edge in high school. He actually went to Alabama as an edge rusher, but he was behind Will Anderson and who's the kid that went to the Vikings last year? Dallas Turner. Yeah, so he was behind those two, so they moved him to off-ball linebacker, and then he was phenomenal this season. And, I mean, if he runs a 4.4 at that size, watch out. But, I think he's going to end up being a top 15 player on a lot of people's boards. And a lot of teams have said they got 8 to 10 first-round grades. If Jihad Campbell's not part of that 8 to 10, a lot of teams are going to say, well, even though it's linebacker, we don't always value that position this high. Shit, we only got 8 first-round grades, and we think this guy is right there in that next tier, or maybe he is one of their first-round grades because he's uber talented with that athleticism and that size. And he's only like 20 years old. He's still a young guy, I'm pretty sure. He might be 21, one or the other. I know he's still very young because he's only a true junior, I believe. So,
oh, my gosh.
So this guy, you still Walter Nolan over him by far, right?
I have Walter Nolan over him, yes. I just love to get a pass rushing D tackle that can make an impact. And Walter Nolan's more than a pass rushing D tackle. He's fucking great against the run.
I just don't want to fall in love with Walter Nolan too much because you know how I get sometimes.
It's too late for me.
Is he going
to like he won't be there, or he'll be there and we won't take him, and then he'll be an all-pro.
Boom. Yeah. And no, he'll go to Pittsburgh. Just picks right after us.
Right? Like I say, I'm trying to like Grant. I'll be okay with Grant still. Like you said, man, I'll still be okay if it's Grant. Pierce, that was the one. It wasn't that the one that's rumored he doesn't fit the Bengals so much.
I don't know. There's a lot of smoke out there about Pierce and character. I always think it's kind of bullshit. Maybe he's not the best teammate. Maybe people didn't go to his birthday party, Greg. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the rumors are. I'm just saying maybe that's it because you just hear character, and maybe that means his teammates didn't go to his birthday party.
Okay, we need to find the bar where the birthday party's at, and I'll take down all the names that were there. I'll do my own research.
This is investigative journalism by Greg.
Yes.
Who was at the birthday
party. The savage investigation is starting.
But, yeah, I mean, I think that I like Pierce. I mean, he's a top 15 player on my board. It's not going to change. I don't have whatever. I don't have these reports from these coaches and teammates or anybody else that's been around him, but I know he's a damn good football player. He's got great length. The biggest concern is, how good is he going to be against the run, because he's got a thin frame. So, I mean, even if he doesn't do on-field workouts, which he clearly should with this shit going on. Daniel Jeremiah didn't have him in his first round in his mock. I mean, he should work out and hopefully be impressive in working out. But weighing in is going to be just as important for him.
Yeah.
Because he's got a thin frame and he's like 6'5". So does he weigh in at 6'5", 240? Because then that's like, the Bengals are out. They'll be out for sure.
Right.
But if he weighs in at 6'5", 250 plus with his long ass arms,
Divine says anger
fine.
issues.
Good. We need some anger issues on the defense. Personally, and my personal opinion, we need somebody to be pissed off like Perfect always was.
Yes.
Well, Dale, I have a Yoshi player that caught my attention, and I did some research. Joshua Farmer at a DT out of Florida State. He had long arms. He worked his way up as a 3-star recruit. His work ethic, you say, could be a little bit in question, but
I thought he should have went back to school. I thought Farmer should have went back to school another year. Farmer,
I would not be opposed to taking him in the second round. He with the long arms, kind of being a little short, kind of Geno Atkins sounds like a little bit right there. What's your take on? Okay, KP says he's the third rounder. What's your take on Farmer?
That's about where I have him as third round also. But I know Daniel Jeremiah is super high on him. Keeps putting him in his top 50. He's had him in
he was also super high on our fucking tight end.
That's true. That's true.
Or whatever.
And he didn't play a single down, and he's 26 years old now.
Right.
So, I mean, Daniel Jeremiah is not perfect. No one is. I mean, it's 5 years of draft. Your teams miss. It happens a lot, obviously. But I'm just not as high on Farmer. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's overly. I don't think he does anything great. He'll give you a lot of effort, but I don't think he's got a deep bag when it comes to pass rush moves. I don't think he's an elite run defender like Jordan Phillips from Maryland is. I don't think he does anything at an elite level to be a top 50 player. But if he falls to the third round, then okay, he's still somewhat young. He was a redshirt junior, so was in college for 4 years. I thought he should have went back because I didn't think he had shown enough. But on a very talented Florida State D-line, who was one of the most productive last year when they had Fiske and they had the kid that went to the Rams, Jared Verse.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When I watched Fiske last year, I'm like, man, we missed. By the way, we thought he got overdrafted a little too high, but man, Fiske did a hell of a job last year.
But was he more productive because he was playing with that guy? That's also part of the evaluation and conversation.
Yeah. Pierce can't control his emotions, but if he's going to get pissed
off. It's the rumor, right? And it's a rumor. We always want to say that before we just call stuff out.
Sure,
so that's the rumor going around.
I mean, I guess that could cause penalties and stuff like that if you just can't control yourself on the field. Was he known for a lot of penalties in Tennessee?
I don't know.
I just don't know how anger issues manifest on field unless it's penalties or something like that, or just maybe locker room stuff. I don't know. Like you said, this is all just allegedly, and it's rumors, and it's rumor season. Right?
Yeah, I know he had some parking ticket issues or something, and I remember that because I think he was getting in trouble for that in the summer. But what was I going to look up, Chop?
You're going to look up
penalties.
Penalties.
He had a lot of penalties.
See if he was penalty prone or something I think you would have probably known that already. If penalties were an issue for him, you would have probably already known that.
He's one of the highest guys at edge. I probably would have had that written down. But I mean, he did have a lot this year, but I don't know what all they were. He had 5 this season, but I mean, that could be a lot of things. So I'd have to really dive into those 5 penalties, but 5 is a high number for sure. Last year he only had 2, and the year before he had none. Which I don't know how much he played.
Now some of those in there
61 snaps and 22, so that's kind of irrelevant.
If it's unsportsmanlike conduct or something like that, then that would show. Then that's
I don't have that right here in front of me, so I would have to look in to see if he had some unsportsmanlike conduct, but I haven't seen necessarily anything on his film.
But if he's going to bring that fire during the whistle to the whistle, boom, I'm in.
Yeah. Like late hit, you don't want a guy getting a bunch of late hits or hitting the quarterback, you know, and getting 15-yarders that extend drives either. Or so if those
running his mouth too much and unsportsmanlike conduct,
I don't know. And like it's silly season. Maybe the Eagles really want him because they think they're going to lose Josh Sweat. So maybe they're like, oh yeah, let's just put these rumors about. Oh, now Pierce is here.
Oh, look at that.
Some people thought he might be the number 1 overall player based on last year's tape going into the summer scouting. And now here we got all these rumors on him. We just won the Super Bowl, and here he is at 32. How did that happen?
It turns out everything's fine.
I'm Howie Rosen, and I will take James Pierce Jr., and he's just fine. Don't worry about it.
Right.
He takes all them Georgia boys and them motherfuckers out there like Fast and Furious movies on the roads. So they play damn good football.
Yes.
Shit don't work out for us, though, does it?
Bengals had a good run.
I would love to have someone back with the attitude.
Yeah.
I really want Walter Nolan.
I did too.
But last year I wanted Johnny Newton, you know.
Yeah.
That did not work out for us. But Johnny Newton, he got take before us, right?
In the second round.
Yes. Oh, in the second round,
yeah. KP, this is always interesting because I do like I look at age, it's something to note, but I don't honestly think it's as important anymore because players are playing a lot longer for one thing.
Right.
Plus, like when you want to win now, if a player's good for you now, I mean, look at him and what's his name was older too. His teammate, I keep forgetting his damn name, even though I love him. The edge, Jared Verse and Fiske were instant impact guys that helped the Rams get back to the playoffs after, the Rams went all in to win that Super Bowl. Here they are back in the playoffs, and we're missed it for 2 years in a row. So, you can go all in. Damn it.
Yeah, they did.
They'll be just fine. But it's an interesting conversation because he's 25, but he's good. He's a good football player. What, Greg?
I tell you, when I just another guy that caught my attention, a sleeper. I mean, how did Ole Miss not become so dominant with that D line? I know I'm not going to say this right. I'm just going to call him Pegasus. And all that.
Yeah. I think it's Pagot, JJ Pagot.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's him, there's Jared Ivey, there's Princely Umamielen, and Walter Nolan, who all should be drafted probably within the first 4 to 5 rounds at the latest. Most of them guys are going top 3. Walter Nolan's probably first. Yeah. Princely's probably second. Ivy's probably third round, and then Pagot could go in the 4th.
Yeah,
so,
no.
You can technically get the band back together.
Former tight end, great leader. I mean, definitely caught my attention.
Yeah.
He seems intriguing. The other one with outgoing connections, Riley Mills, 7.5 sacks last season. Like you put down 50, but like you were just explaining, a lot of guys stay. This could be another win now, though, guy with Riley Mills. We could get in the middle rounds.
Well, he got injured literally in the playoff run, so I don't know how long he's going to be out and stuff like that. And that matters when you're an older guy. Plus, you got an injury, and I don't know. He's okay. I was never super high on him before the injury or anything. I always just thought 4th, 5th round, but yeah, I mean, he'll know. Howard Cross is an undersized D tackle from Notre Dame too. He's like 280. I mean, undersized D tackle, and he's not really an edge. He's a D tackle.
He's the Emmanuel Forbes of D tackles.
But he's one of those guys, he'll give you what he has. You know what I mean? Like I think he had 6 sacks or something last year. I don't think he replicated that this year, but he was still pretty good. I don't know. I hope we don't go that route where it's just like, oh, they went to Notre Dame. We better take them because I'll go.
Yeah, right.
Come on, man. We only got 3 scouts. We better take for Notre Dame, guys.
I'm cool with a Notre Dame guy, but like if for some reason this draft is like heavy Notre Dame, I'm gonna not be excited about it.
It would seem lazy, right? Like,
yes.
And I don't think they got surefire studs. Like I like Xavier Watts a lot. Benjamin Morrison, I really liked, but then he got a hip injury. I'm sorry.
I got to tell you,
pretty much out for the Bengals because it doesn't.
I really feel like for the next couple of years, we got such an advantage going into the draft as far as our defense goes because Al Golden has played all these teams. He's watched all these guys play. Like
just wait 2 years. If we need a corner in 2 years,
that's what I'm saying. For like 2 years, this year,
Leonard,
next
but
year.
Get Leonard Moore. That kid was phenomenal at corner. True freshman for them. And he's like 6'2" and can run like a – he's the guy who chased down Judkins when Judkins was breaking away and ran like – I don't even remember what it was, 23 miles per hour or something. It was something crazy. And he's 6'2". He's 6'2". Like, he's big. Lockdown, too.
Usually those guys that are 6'2" don't run as fast as like those guys that are like 6 foot or 5'10" or something like that. They're usually faster.
Mitchell Evans would be intriguing, the tight end from there. He might be one of my other favorites. Like if we took a Notre Dame guy outside of Watts.
Is who?
Mitchell Evans, tight end, because he wasn't doing so great for majority of the season, but he was coming off an ACL injury. So you can kind of understand. We always say, like, takes a year. Even the great Geno Atkins,
right,
chiseled out of stone, took like a full year before he really got back to being the guy he was when he had his ACL injury. And Mitchell Evans was very good before the injury. And then, like I said, had a slow start to this season, coming off the injury, partway through last year. And then the second half of the playoffs, he was back looking like the player he was before. And he's like 6'5", 260, 265. So he's got the big body. He's not been the best blocker, but he's got the body for it, right? So I think that could be developed a little bit. I like James Casey as a tight end coach, but he's a good pass catcher too with good size. So,
yeah,
we're talking maybe this kid's there in the 5th round still from Notre Dame, Mitchell Evans. Boom. Sign me up. I think he'd be a good pick at that point.
All right. I'll write that one down.
It's going to be a very interesting.
Opposite side of the ball than Al Golden though, but
okay, Dale. Over under Bengals come away drafting up one Notre Dame player in this draft.
I mean, set it at
you got to set it at a half, right?
Half.
Yeah, you got to set it at
set it at a half, and I'm going with it.
I'll set it at one, and I'll set it at a half. Yeah.
If you set it at a half, I'm going with it. If you set it at 1, I'm probably.
If you set it at 1.5, I'm going under because I think it could be 1. Yeah. If you set it at half, I'm going over because I think it could be 1.
Yeah.
I'll just say maybe 1, but I mean we don't. Right now we have 6 picks, but I still expect that to change whether we trade somebody.
I guarantee we get undrafted free agents from Notre Dame. I mean, Al Golden's going to be the one making the call.
I will not count that.
Yeah. There's also,
neither do I, but
Ryan Clark's son's like a slot corner. I don't have him necessarily as a drafted player, but he could be drafted. He could be a day 3 pick, so he could be somebody.
Play for?
Notre Dame. That's what I'm saying.
He's Notre Dame.
Ryan Clark's he's their slot cornerback. So
he can go to the fucking Steelers too.
He probably will. Wouldn't surprise me.
He can fucking play right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Noddy. Yeah, but like we were talking about signing an undrafted guy. I have him as an undrafted guy right now. If he doesn't get drafted, he could get drafted day 3. I'm not saying he won't, but if he doesn't, I think that would be a good fit, right? Boom, Al Golden just brings him in, undrafted free agent, and he has a shot to make the roster, especially if we didn't re-sign Mike Hilton because he's slot corner.
Yeah.
By the way, the Packers just submitted. They want the tush push to be banned.
Yeah, I seen that earlier actually. Yeah, it said unknown team, and then it was like 15 minutes later, the Packers. Like they weren't letting that shit be a nod.
What the fuck is wrong? I mean,
I hate it, but
I hate it too. It's fucking stupid.
Because the team's really good at it doesn't necessarily mean it should be banned. But I don't.
Because you're good at pushing your guy through other people. Yeah. I loved it when the Chris Jones like literally went up and lined up sideways because they were lining up that tush push, and they just fucking plowed right through him, man. But he, like, I don't know why. Instead of that, why doesn't every team just like study that thing and start doing it themselves? Why is Philly the only team that can do this tush push? And
they squats like 700 pounds, like Jalen Hurts.
You're right. Their quarterback squats like 700 pounds, but we don't have to have Joe Burrow in the tush push. It can be like last year it was Hudson was doing the tush
but when you got a tight end, then they don't have that same height. Even Joe Burrow wouldn't have the same height as Jalen Hurts, who's smaller and can get lower.
Yeah.
You're talking those piles with that strength and that. I mean, hey, it works for him because he's got body
maybe
for it.
We need to draft that guy. We just need to draft a big fucking like that guy from Florida I was talking about, that tackle.
That's going to be Jalen Milroe's role in the NFL because Jalen Milroe is like 220 and he's chiseled as hell. He's just not very accurate. He can run. You bring him in as a wildcat quarterback and you bring him in for your tush push quarterback.
Yeah, you just get this guy. He's just your 4th and 1 guy. That's it. 4th and 1 guy. That's his position. 4th and 1. Throw him in there. He gets the ball, 1 yard.
What I do now? Why are you saying I'm going? I have not gone down on myself today. I'm giving you valuable information. Take it or leave it, Crypt Keeper. You're saying I'm blowing myself. What the hell, buddy?
West is right here. I was just thinking about this. Willie Lampkin for the bulldozer.
There you go.
Yeah, for the pusher.
Give Lampkin the ball.
Yeah, and then I don't know, who do you put at quarterback? I mean,
what the fuck is this?
When you draft Tyler Warren in the first round, even though he's going to be taller because he's like 6'6".
How mad? Well, let me just ask you this: like, if they pick Tyler Warren,
but you got Willie Lampkin 5'10" coming behind him.
Yeah, on a scale 1 to 10, if they take him at 17, how upset will you be?
Warren?
Yeah.
Nah,
I won't either. I mean, it's not the guy I want, but I'm not upset with that at all.
I think he's good enough. I mean, I don't think he's Brock Bowers good, but I think he's and he's such a different tight end. We talked about that some Friday. Like he's a better blocker.
Flash that we saw last year, of Eric All, seeing what this offense could even be with a 100% great tight end.
Oh, time to end the show. Ryan's here.
Oh yeah, get the fuck out now.
Yeah, you get Rico to beef up.
We could just start over. Where's the rewind button?
Yeah. I don't think I got another hour in me, boys. Monday. I woke up at 3:30 and couldn't go back to sleep today.
Damn.
3:30 this morning. I was like, fuck. I got up and worked out before I went to work. Then worked out again when I got home.
Did you get up in time to get that burrito from the gas station?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Hell yeah!
I fucking worked out.
That's why you treadmill is so you can eat that burrito.
There you go, man.
Fuck yeah!
Might not lose weight, but hey, I can maintain.
There's something to be said about. There's something
to be said about
maintaining. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
the goal is to not get fatter now.
Right.
It's to stay my plump self.
You're doing 2-a-days.
I did today just because I couldn't fucking sleep. I like, fuck it, might as well get up, fucking do a half an hour.
Yeah.
Treadmill.
Here, KP says this Friday wants us to drop the link in there.
Yeah, we might toward the second half of the show or something, and we'll see how long it's going. And I need to find out like when exactly the combine's going, because if I'm going to be in here again on Friday, because I went down and I cleaned out the garage a little more. I think I could do a show in there again. I mean, I have to make sure all the fucking plugs are working okay and nothing's completely fucked. But Friday I might stay in here just so I can watch the fucking combine right here.
Why don't you just go down there and get like 3 more items and put them on that wall?
Well, Miley snitched on me yesterday. So she noticed, but only because Miley said she's in here cooking dinner. And Miley's like, has she noticed? I said, no, she ain't said nothing about it. And then Miley's like, oh, Mom, what do you think of this wall? And she said, looks like a bunch of gay shit. That's what Marissa said.
I love Marissa.
That's all she said.
Yes.
She don't ever come in here. She don't even come in here. She's at work. She won't be home till fucking probably like 7 o'clock. Then she'll come home. We might eat something for fucking dinner. And then she'll go to sleep. And then she'll get up and go to work again. What's that?
Sounds like my life, except for the last 4 weeks where I just been sitting in this fucking room. Surgery. Weight limits. Whatever.
Well, good show, fellas.
Yeah.
We're almost an hour and 15 in. So we'll end this one. You guys can always check it out. Make sure while you're on the YouTube of the Bengals and Brews, like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button.
Yeah.
And subscribe. We're so close to 2,000, but we just can't get there.
Hey,
also, why must you torture us? 2,000.
In just a few weeks from now, we're going to be doing our live broadcast from Midwest Best Barbecue on March 15th.
Yeah. Over the weekend, it was rib weekend. Next rib weekend will be that weekend that we do the show on that Saturday.
Yeah, Greg, because we planned it for that.
Yeah, we planned it for the rib weekend.
But I don't even know if I'll get ribs.
What?
Listen,
I did all this just for you?
You love Midwest. Don't complain. We know you love it. I really want to try the boneless Grippo wings.
All right, well, get the ribs and the Grippo wings, you goober.
Greg, I think my kids are coming. And Marissa, I have not made of money, sir.
What deal? Just
Greg will buy it.
I'll get you the ribs.
Greg's going to buy your ribs now for the whole family.
I'm going to regret saying
I'll get up in your ribs.
Hell yeah, you will.
You can lick my ribs right here with barbecue sauce.
Get in them guts.
I'll lick it. Put some barbecue sauce on them nipples. I'll lick it off live on the show. That's entertainment you might get at Midwest Best Barbecue on March 15th.
Hell yeah.
At 3:30, like the time we do our show here, we're going to do. That's a Saturday, so free agency will start that week. Should be hopefully some stuff to recap. You never know with this fucking franchise.
Yeah, right. We'll recap everything Duke Tobin did.
We might just Chop, give us a free agent update. Chop does this sound. Fucking crickets, Chop! How do you forget to do crickets?
Take that part out of the show. Start over. Ready, go.
Man, tossed it to him and he fell.
No. Listen, I cut that part out of the show. Go back. Say it again.
All right. You know, you never know with this franchise.
Yeah.
So we might be there on Saturday. Free agency started on that Monday.
Yeah.
And then I just say, Chop, what's happening in free agency? And you just hear this sound.
Yeah. That's right. Boom. I nailed that shit, man. When you toss it to me,
you had one
returned.
You're just doing fart noises all of a sudden. You're obsessed with these fart noises. And you lost track of the crickets been your thing since.
Oh, hey, guys. Bengals added to a coaching staff. Veteran NFL coach Sean Desai is expected to join the Bengals staff in a senior defensive role. He's a multi-defensive coordinator, was part of the Rams last offseason.
Yeah. Didn't someone mention that to me like a month ago?
No, I don't think so.
I thought you did.
No, I did not. No.
It was literally on my search engine. That guy's name, a Wikipedia search of his name had been in my search engine for a month. So someone mentioned his name to me as a possibility. It was my sources.
Yeah, your source.
Yeah.
I knew that this was a possibility.
You should. I
did see someone on Twitter mention that today too. Mentioned this.
Yep.
So sounds like they had some sources. Maybe it was sauces. Maybe I was just drunk.
People that have sources. My source is people that have a source.
Damn, Tom, it's fucking bedtime, buddy. 10:45 there.
7:45.
10:45.
Oh, shit, that ain't my bedtime.
Yeah, we know you stay up all night.
Yeah.
That might have been what it was. He might have been one of our defense coordinator. That's why he was in my search list. We thought he might have been, but yeah. So you bring this guy on as a. I know. When I looked it up, he got kind of ran out of.
Well, yeah, because the Eagles players didn't respond to it,
something like that.
But the good news is he's just an assistant. He doesn't have a big role or anything. He's just an assistant, and he's probably. And another thing you got to think of also, he had outgoing connections with BC. You got to think also. He was with the Rams last year. Taylor and McVay are probably still good friends. He probably called him and said, "Hey, you got to think about that also."
This is very possible, Chris.
Yeah,
this is very possible.
Yes,
hammered drunk.
The Brew Crew knows you too well.
My own source because I was like, look this guy up, and then I was like, someone told me about this guy.
That must be
search engine.
It must have been on a Friday night,
like a month ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it had to be on a Friday night because Friday is my night. Yeah. All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Plan us to be back Friday unless we sign mega extensions, but I doubt it. You never know. We could be back. Maybe the Bengals will give us something to talk about tomorrow with these interviews, but I doubt it.
Yeah, tons of stuff. How are we going to fit everything that Duke Tobin says into 1 hour show?
How are we going to fit everything that they don't say into a 1 hour show?
You're right. Yep.
Appreciate y'all. You guys are the best. Love y'all. Have a good week if we don't see you till Friday. If not, then have a good evening. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. You never know.
Peace out.
That's why you like and subscribe.